podcast for your soul, your compass, your journey, your light. This is Podcast for Your Soul, and I'm your host, Nico Balschuweit. And today's guest is Dr. Q, Dr. Q Moyat. And Dr. Q is the founder of the Palm Leaf Reading Institute from India. Now, what is fascinating about his story is that he had his palm leaf reading, and in his reading, it was shown that he will bring this ancient wisdom to the West. And since the last 25 years, he coached and mentored over 10,000 people to get their palm leaf reading. So I'm very curious to learn more about this. So Dr. Q, welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me, Nico. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. And first of all, my reading was only done 6 or 7 years ago, but I've been awakened, if you wish, when it comes to spirituality 25 years ago, because I survived cancer.
Okay. So
yes, no problem. That of course propelled me into the human that I'm today, as I was in and out of hospital for 3 years. And as I'm the only person in my room that survived cancer, imagine every single person I shared the room with died. Ultimately, it really opened my eyes towards what's out there. There's got to be more than meets the eye. And I would say that is the, by far, most formative experience of my life, me surviving cancer.
Wow. And that was, you were very young when that happened, right?
16 to 19. So I'm now celebrating 30 years of, being diagnosed. And then in 2 years from now, surviving it, being declared as healthy. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Lucky me.
Yeah. And I can imagine what kind of shift this is also in the awareness, or to get a different perspective of life. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Absolutely. Yeah. It turns into an adult, into a mature human very fast.
I understand that. Yeah. So that, and then after this, you started already the process where you did like coaching and mentoring for other people, because that's what I assumed is that was all in regards to palm leaf reading, but you did basically other elements when you work with other people.
Oh,
before?
yes. I've done trainings from kinesiology, psychotherapy. I've delved into touch healing, energy healing, meditation. Obviously, surviving cancer propelled me to delving into life, if you wish, and exploring what's out there. Because I know there is a lot more than meets the eye. So I've done trainings in many, many, many different areas. And bringing this to my palm leaf reading experience, I just want to point out that I've done many, many, many things before I even heard of palm leaf readings. But 7 years ago, I had about 7 years ago, I had a virus infection that impacted my heart so badly that I almost died again. So I ended up in the intensive care unit, and I was in the hospital for a month. And at the time, I heard about palm leaf readings, and I heard that you can have your karma cleaned through getting a palm leaf reading. And I told myself, if I survive this time, I will go and search for my palm leaf. And so I did. And this experience was such a mind-blowing experience. It really changed my life. And at the end of the reading, the reader told me that I will bring this to the West. And of course, I thought he's joking, because my connection to India is zero. Apart from me meditating every day and going to yoga almost every day and loving Indian cuisine, up until that time, I was just a visitor of India. And when he said, so you bring this to the West, I said, sure not, and left it at that. But now the universe collided, and here I am speaking with you about palm leaf readings. And we established the very first institute of its kind outside of India, and have helped God knows how many people across the globe with their readings. And it has become my life's journey, I guess now, to help people find their palm leaf without ever having to go to India. And at the same time, helping Indians, helping our readers and interpreters in India. So we're giving back to the community a lot. Preserve this ancient tradition for hopefully many, many years to come, as this is regrettably a dying breed. It's very hard to find good, trustworthy, honest readers. And if you find one, you want to make sure that he stays where he is and provides the service.
Absolutely. So, Q, maybe before we continue, can you say, so your name is just Q, not that people think I'm in a Bond movie or something. So it's Dr. Q, and this is a complete name, or is it like an abbreviation, or?
Yeah, well, the doctor is real. I have a PhD.
Yes.
And the Q is my Persian name because I'm half Persian. I'm half European, half Persian. And it stands for Q-Mars. Q-Mars is a Persian name, but everyone calls you Q. And over time, when I was doing my PhD, people started calling me Dr. Q. And that's how I stuck with it. So nothing to do with James Bond. Even though I would love to say Q stands for how cute is he, or thank you very much. It's just the abbreviation of my Persian name is.
Same as Q.
Sure.
I got it. So you also say there is an ancient manuscript in the palm leaf for every person in this library?
Not for every person, no, but for many people. And the ancient manuscript is the palm leaf itself. Now, what's how the whole thing is set up is that they're bundles. A bundle contains up to 108 individual palm leaves, hence Indian palm leaf reading. And when I say palm leaves, I mean dried leaves of a palm tree, because 2,000 years ago-ish, when these palm leaves were written, when they started to write them down, there was no paper. So they had to use dried palm leaves to put the message on them. And they're cut in a certain size and put into bundles. Like the front and the end are wooden little covers, and then they're tied up. So within these two ends, you have up to 108 individual palm leaves. It could be less, could be just 20, because some of them, deteriorate and some of them have already been read. So once a reading has happened, they take out the palm leaf and destroy it in a ceremony. Because once matching has happened, let's say Nico does a reading, and once your reading is done, after a while, they take the palm leaf out of the bundle and give it back to the universe in a ceremony. Obviously, over time, the number of individual palm leaves in a bundle dwindles, of course. But the max is 108. But usually there are like 30, 40 of them. And these bundles are in various archives and libraries in the southernmost part of India, in a state called Tamil Nadu, which has 85 million people in it. So I guess roughly the size of Germany in one state. And they speak Tamil in that state. They're Tamil people. They don't speak Hindi. So it's a different language, different culture altogether. And these bundles are in various archives. Don't ask me how many, because we do not know. Not a single reader knows how many archives we have. So if you think of Europe or North America being a organized area, then think the opposite, and that's how you come up having an idea about India. It's a little chaotic. So we really do not know how many archives are there, but there are many. And what happens is a reader will go into these archives and then search for a bundle that hopefully contains your individual palm leaf based on your thumb impression. Your thumbprint carries the message, if you wish. Male, right thumbprint, and female, left thumbprint. That's how it works in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, and the process is basically what I looked up on the website. I have to provide my thumbprint. What, like how I would use a stamp, or how do you like?
Yep, you need to organize an ink pad. The color makes a difference. It could be black or green or blue, so that's not an issue. You either borrow the ink pad from your office, if your office has still one of those. Otherwise, you need to buy it from Amazon or Office Depot or so. And then you would need to rub your thumb in that ink pad, put it on a piece of paper that we provide every seeker with, so we can keep the seeker anonymous. All the reader knows, all the reader that gets from us is this one form that the seeker gets. They need to circle in female or male, the country of birth, in whatever country they were born in, not the country they live in now, the country they were born in. And most of the form is empty for the seeker to put their thumbprint on. Male right, female left. And because people, of course, how could they have no experience? In the beginning, they might be pressing too hard, so it's smudged, or not hard enough, so it's too faint. But after a while, you get the hang of it, how hard to press. And then if you can see all the fine lines of your thumbprint, then you know it's a good thumbprint. And that's the version we'll use to go to India for the reader to then start the search.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I fax it to you. I send you PDF.
No, it's all done automated. So we send an email to the seeker, and the seeker prints out the form that we send them, and then they would need to take a picture of that form, either with a smartphone, or they scan it, and upload it to our system in high resolution. We need a high resolution version of the PDF or the picture, because we print it out as a picture so that the reader can look at it literally through his magnifying glass to see the patterns, all the nice patterns in your thumbprint, to then be able to determine where to look, in which section of the archives to look for your potential bundle. Right. That's how it works.
Fascinating.
It is. It's amazing.
So, and if I wouldn't know you, I think the process looks a bit strange to me, right? Because you have to pay $100 first, right? For the search of your bundle. And if they don't find one, then I get the money back. Is that correct?
Correct. You always have 100% money back guarantee. 100%.
But why do you have to put the money up front? I'm just asking if people understand this better when they're listening.
Okay, so the whole payment process is like that. The main aim of our institute, to put it simple, is to help people across the globe to find their message in a palm leaf in India without ever having to go to India. In the beginning, we had to do it by taking people to India, and India is not an easy country to visit. Even though I'm a huge fan of India, don't get me wrong, I really am, and I'm a world traveler. I've been to over 100 countries across the globe, as I've come from the tourism part. But India, per se, is not an easy country to visit. So over time, we realized how to make it simpler for the seeker to search for the bundle and then have the reading done. So what we're doing now is we ask for $100 as a symbolic fee, so we know that you mean it. They're not just here for, my friend, shits and giggles. Put down $100, the search starts, and then usually if you really are have a calling, then the percentage of you having a bundle out there is very high. If you do it because you're bored, or if you do it because your husband or wife paid it for you to do, then it's very low. Hence, we talk to every single person before they sign up, making sure that they really want it to get done. So they put $100 down, so we know they are serious about it. They submit their form. This goes to India. Now, if there is no bundle found, you get your $100 back, but I still have to pay my Indian guy because he put some work into it. You know what I mean? Hence, I need to make sure that the person is serious about it. And once the bundle was found, we then set up a time over Zoom. We do it over Zoom too, because we record the whole thing for the seeker. And they need to pay $400 for the matching and the reading. I get into those two steps a little later on too. And if there is no matching or no matching, which means no reading, you get the $400 back as well. So the whole way, 100% money back guarantee.
So the total amount would be $500.
$500 US. Yes.
Yeah. And it goes into the community and basically to preserve that ancient wisdom as well. And obviously,
of course,
yes. A lot of
we got to pay the Indians. We got to pay the interpreters. In the call that we offer, it's a Zoom call. There are 3 people. 2 of them are in India. 1 of them is in the West. We call the Western person a moderator. A person like myself, if you wish, that helps the person to understand their experience, the matching and the reading. So 3 people supporting the seeker throughout this matching and reading process, which lasts about 3 to 4 hours. So it's quite lengthy and quite detailed. And being a Western-based institute, we're registered in the United States, we have to pay Western monies, of course, because being in the United States, you have to be insured. You're going to have, this taxation and so forth. So it's just the reality of it. To run an institute of this kind to a global audience, with readings with all over Europe, Australia, South America, all over North America, it's just cost. Regrettably, it's not for nothing. But in return, we also put some money back into India, making sure that our readers stay where they are. All the readers that we work with literally breathe what they do. It's just so humbling to meet them. You wouldn't believe it. We tried to persuade them to move a little further up north. It would make it easier for me when I come and visit them, because they live in a very small village, which is cumbersome to get to. It's not easy, even for me, and I'm a fairly fit young person. They all said no. They could make more money up north, a little further up north. It would be easier to travel, but they all said no. We're here. This is where it happens. So it humbles me so much that we want to give back to them as much as we can, so that they stay where they are. They can attract more readers, train them, because the training takes years. It's something it's a very cumbersome process, so that in the generations to come, people can still go and have a palm leaf reading and get the message that they were given. To have a direction in their lives.
Yeah, I'm strongly connected to the Indian culture. My son-in-law is from India. I'm a grandfather now, and I've been many times to India.
So
Yeah. So I can totally relate to that. I also can relate to that. That's almost like a sacred space where they want to stay to do their work, and there's a lot of family tradition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. So you mentioned in the beginning something that, so you had a heart disease, so second time something life-threatening to you, and then you understood that if you find your palm leaf, it can resolve your karma.
Yes.
So how can you explain it? Why can it resolve karma if I get the information?
Okay. The two main reasons why I had my reading done, and now after having guided so many people, I know for most people it's the same reasons why they get a reading done too, is one is I wanted to know, do I carry karma from the past? If I do carry karma, can it be resolved? And the second reason was, is my soul in alignment with the universe? Is my soul doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Because if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I get sick. So in my life, my biggest challenge has always been health. I've been sick a few times, and I nearly died a few times. And the only conclusion that I could make is it must have to do with a past life experience, so that I must be carrying karma. I heard about palm leaf readings before, but it never sunk in. You hear something, I'm sure it happens to everyone out there too. You hear it, but you don't really hear it, and it takes a while for you to really hear it. So when I got sick, I really heard it, and I said, okay, if I survive and I come out of here, I get a reading. Because I heard you can get your karma cleaned. It's Deepak Chopra's book, The Secret. There's a book that he wrote in 2005, The Book of Secrets. There we go, The Book of Secrets, where he wrote about his own experience about palm leaf readings. And then I heard it from another friend of mine, and then I said, okay, let's do it. And in the reading covers your life, the whole life that you have, in all aspects of your life. That would be family life, kids, grandchildren, love affairs, marriage, health, money, career, you name it. And it gives it a good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, because life regrettably is not just milk and honey, as we know. And at the end of the reading, once the reader told you the time block when you most likely pass on, he will also give you a past life reading. If you have a past life at all, if you carry karma from a past life, I should say, the reader will tell you, oh, you don't carry any karma from the past, so no reason for him to give you past life reading. But if you do carry karma, like most of us do, of course, then you get a past life reading. And at the end of the reading, that's your current life reading and your past life reading, the reader will give you homework to do. It's called the puja, P-O-O-J-A, puja.
Yeah.
Literally translated, it's a prayer, but in modern translation, if you wish, it should be considered as an act of manifestation. That's a good way of looking at it. Act of manifestation. So you got to do something to get something. You cannot just hope for the best and not do anything, or just continue the way you've done before. So obviously no healing will happen. So in this pujas, the reader will tell you what you need to do to overcome the obstacles that you were told in your reading. It could be a health issue that you have, or a relationship problem, money issue, whatever. And of course, also past life karma. To make this maybe easier for the audience to understand what I'm talking about, my reading, when I had my reading done, I was 41 years old. So it was 41 to 43, 43 to 46, 46, 50. So it's like a trajectory based on your energies at the time of the reading, So a likely trajectory of your life, looking into the future based on your energies, not your mood of the day. It's very different. Your energies. It's a likely trajectory. And it's also not set in stone. So you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, it's all set in stone. I have no control over it. It's not true either. It's just a likely trajectory. No one takes away your free will. You have choice. You have free will. But it can be looked at as a guideline. So in my reading, my reader told me between the age of 77 and 79, I get a heart attack and likely die. So I was like, wow, this guy knows I have a heart issue because I didn't tell him that I was there because of heart problem. So first, I was impressed that he knows that. And then secondly, he said, don't you worry, there's a puja for you to do. And if you do the puja, you can reduce a fatal heart attack to a minor heart attack. So you still have to have a heart attack because of karma and star constellations, but you'll survive and recover and heal from it. And you turn into your 80s. You actually are given the gift of longevity. Gift of longevity means that he cannot tell you anymore the block of time in which you die, which means gift of longevity. So it could turn 85 in one day or 99 years of age. He does not know. That's awesome. But every day past 80, in my humble opinion, is a gift to begin with. So that is a section of a reading. And a puja. So he told me the puja that I need to do to fix it. He also gave me a long puja to do to fix my past life karma. And the last word about pujas, these pujas are very lengthy. After your reading is over, you need to do your homework, if you wish, your acts of manifestation. And these pujas last about 6 months. It's a long time. And every week you got to do something. A meditation, a mantra, a chant, or a physical act. For example, in my case, he told me I need to, on 2 Wednesdays, give food to the needy. And after that, on 5 Fridays, give fruits and candy to children. And then I need to do a separate mantra. And then I had to do a meditation, so it's a mixture of physical acts and meditation and prayers and so forth. So it takes a while to get it all done. And you better put your heart into it because you want change. Like I wanted healing. I don't want to get sick as I have gotten sick before. So I did that, and hopefully, knock on wood, I'm good now.
I'm a big fan of the ceremony of puja because Petra and I, we lived in an ashram for over 10 years, and we did countless pujas, right? Wow. And we worshipped, what we did in a puja is you worship a divine aspect within you.
Correct.
Be it a deity, Sri Ganesha, Lord Shiva, depending on what kind of puja you are. And you worship a certain aspect, maybe being innocent, forgiveness, or unconditional love, whatever the case may be. And also what the experience I had when I did a long puja, for several hours, it was so uplifting and liberating that you worship, and basically it's almost like the frequency is raising. It goes, if you will, like beyond the ego. You are so immersed in the worship and in the prayer, in the mantras, that all of a sudden it's like a bubble is doing blop. It's like, and then there is something, I don't know exactly what is happening, but I feel like I'm expanding, there's a relief. And we did this countless times, and that was my spiritual path. And all the awareness and the gifts I receive in meditation nowadays, I think, originated during that period where we did puja after puja after puja. So for me now, or for Petra and myself, it's just if we sit down and we invite deities, or we do a prayer, we are immediately in that state. But I think it came from, I would say, even 20 years of puja, surrender, and just understanding more about the divine aspects which you can invoke, and blessings.
Yes, it's true. I can totally relate to that. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's a challenge also for the Western world. Because in the West, they always try to put things more like in a time-bound structure. Okay, I need to do this, I pay this amount, and then my karma is resolved. Or I do this one time and then it's gone. But this is just really beyond space and time. There's a bigger cause, which my idea is you can only sense it in the process of doing it. As you said, when you become it, when you just you give sweets to the children, in that process, all of a sudden you feel, oh, now something is happening and something is lifted away from me, yeah, or whatever the case may be.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So, and you said the other thing, which I think is very interesting. It gives you like a trajectory, meaning it's like a window of opportunity, right? The way that you can get a certain direction, and you get recommendation on how to go your soul path, and then you either do it or don't. Or how would you describe that? What you can do with the information you received?
What can you do? Well, the trajectory is based on your energies, the way you are at the moment of the reading. So it tells you, if you stayed like this, given your energies now, this is a potential, not definitive, but it's a potential outcome of your life. And if there are obstacles that are coming up sometime in the future, as I said before, the reader will tell you what you can do to fix it. Because sometimes you got financial issues or relationship issues or whatever that might be, and you can fix it through a puja. Now, the reader will tell you what is good for your soul, what you ought to be doing to be in alignment with the universe. To me, the issue is always has been sickness. You know, to other people is, I don't know, relationship issues, or never making enough money, or always getting fired from their job. You know, we all carry some, in one shape or another, our crosses, right? So in my case, it is health. And if you listen to the reader and his advice, and when he tells you this is good for your soul, for example, teach children music, that could be, you know, something. It's not so specific, and the reader will never tell you need to be a barber or you need to be a makeup artist. But yeah, you know, but some people think that's how specific it is, but it's not so specific. But it gives you a good idea of a field to be in, so that you can live out what you're supposed to be doing this lifetime. Now, people also think that, oh my gosh, everyone needs to be a healer when you get a reading done. No, it's not true either. It's not. We've had stockbrokers from New York, and they said, you know, what you do now is perfect because you're supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? So you do not, it's not that they push you in a direction, this is what you need to do. No, they tell you that from their point of view, by looking at the palm leaf, this is good for your soul, period. And if you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing, perfect. And if there is a dissonance, you know, if the reader tells you this and you're doing that, then it's up to you, because you still have a free will and a choice to take up their advice and change your life a little bit, or adjust it a little bit, or not. You know what I mean? So reading can only be taken as a guideline, period, as a guideline.
Yeah, which is the concept of free will, of course.
Correct.
On top of that, yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So in your palm leaf, it was stated that you will bring this wisdom to the West. Is that correct?
I know. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I remember when the reader told me that, I thought he's joking with me. I said, no, I said, are you serious? It went in one ear and out the other, because I didn't even take it too seriously. But he was like, no, I think you will, you know. So and there you go. And here I am talking to you about it today. It's amazing.
Really amazing. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's stunning.
You do this now for 7 years, or how long? Since 7 years? Or how long are you doing this now to organize these readings?
For several years now, for quite many years. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, of course, we did it. I don't know, as a hobby, like you have such a huge experience, and what you do when you have such a huge experience, it doesn't matter what the experience is. You go home and you share it with your friends and family, right? That's what you usually do. You go on a travel, you go on a journey, you come home and say, "Oh my gosh, I just visited this country; it was beautiful." So you share. So I did the same. I shared my experience with friends and family, and then the word spreads, and then people want to do it. So, oh, how can I do it? And I was like, well, you got to go to India, because that's the way it is. then after a while, you realize, oh my gosh, there are so many people that want to do it, and then the more and more and more, because more expensive. Because you cannot plan this, Nico. Obviously, you cannot plan in your life to open up an Indian palm reading institute. It's impossible. You can plan to become a lawyer or a physician or this and that, the other, but not this. So after a while, when you see that there's so much interest coming in, you're like, okay, so I can see there is a lot of interest, but it's a challenge because it's not readily available. And then you got to think about, is it worth your time? Do you feel a connection to it? And then can it be done? Can it be done without people having to go to India? Because India, the destination itself, is the attraction and the biggest challenge at the same time. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you lived in India, so you know what I'm talking about. But to most people, going to India is like a daunting thought. It's like, oh my gosh, I will never get it done. So we had to over time figure out how to do it, and it took a couple of years. But here we are now at a system that's also not perfect yet, of course not, because every system can be improved upon. But now we know how to do it without a person ever having to leave their living room. You can remain in your air-conditioned room and listen to the reading in a comfortable environment. And what people don't understand either is the reality of it. If you get the reading done like in person in India, is by far not as a relaxing experience as it is for a person who does it through our little institute here. Because India, there is incense, there is noise, there is mosquitoes, there is 40 degrees Celsius, there is near 100% humidity, and it's a small cubicle. You hardly get any air in there. So how the way we communicate today, it's air conditioned, it's warm, it's this and that, the other, is perfect. So it's an added bonus which people are not aware of. I understand why not, but they're not aware of it. As they can just sip a cup of coffee or tea in their living room while they're listening to their Indians live. Everything's live, of course, because everything happens in India. Get the reading done.
Yeah, that's also the information I received, and that's the reason why I do Podcast for Your Soul. It's just really to connect international cultures around the world, and the information I received is just really to leverage the tools of virtual tools to share information to many, many people, to help them to become more aware or awaken, if you will, so that they get different inspiration from people like you who do something totally out of the box, highly spiritual, which they never heard about. And then through this media, they hear about that. And even with the same media, they can get a palm leaf reading as well. And I think let's say I call it the light worker of this world, we need to make more use of this tool to bring information out there and to share that, because there is this oneness and one consciousness, and that helps just for what I call mass awakening.
Absolutely. I guess there is a reason why now palm leaf readings come to the West. I guess now the West is ready for it. Because it has been around for 2,000 years. It's nothing new. It's been around for a long, long time. And if you travel to the southern parts of India, then you realize that it's very much part of the culture. We're just not heard about it yet. But I guess, as you said, it's a mass awakening of the West. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I was able to bring it to the West, I guess.
I got like showers all over my body, beautiful energy. Yes.
It is, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, and the palm leaf itself, it looks like dried wood, right?
I mean, if you want, I brought some pictures with me. I can
great, yes.
The camera for you. So bundle, I show you this bundle here. That's like a bundle. Can you see? Okay.
Yeah. Can you get a bit closer?
Sure. That's a bundle.
Okay. Cool.
And the bundle, I can show you how a bundle would be like this long and this thick. And in between, like you see here, you have these individual dried palm leaves. Okay.
108 leaves.
A maximum of 108. And they're like tied together. And here you see one of our readers. And as far as I remember, I think that's my own reading, but I'm not so sure. This is like one of our readers. And it shows you how big or how small these bundles are as he's opening up a palm leaf, a bundle, and he's reading through an individual palm leaf at the moment, right? And then I have an open bundle here for you. So you see, these are these individual palm leaves. And they're written in ancient Tamil language.
Tamil, okay.
In ancient Tamil, not modern Tamil.
Yeah, ancient. So it's not Sanskrit, it's Tamil, yeah.
Yeah, it's not Sanskrit. No, it's Tamil. Yeah. And Tamil is apparently even older than Sanskrit. It's apparently the oldest language in the world. So ancient Tamil is this language isn't understood anymore by modern Tamil people. So the reader has to learn ancient Tamil in order to be able to give you, not only do the matching means he finds your individual palm leaf and then give you the reading. The Tamil, maybe I can explain that too. Tamil and ancient Tamil are sound-based languages, sound, like Chinese Mandarin, if you wish, symbols and sounds. Unlike English, which is letter-based, or any European language is all letter-based, A, B, C, D. So it's a skill set of the reader to convert a sound into a meaningful letter. Let's stick with English. So into a meaningful English letter. So a symbol in Tamil could be interpreted in different ways. It could stand for an A or an O or an I. So how the reader is able to locate you, and if you have time, I can explain to you the matching process. That's the process that is, I would say, the most mind-blowing part of it, because you can verify the information in it. What the reader would do is the reader would open up the bundle in front of you and then look at the very first palm leaf, and then he would pick out a message from it and say, you are married, because this palm leaf belongs to a person who is married. If you say correct to that information because you are married, then he stays on it. But if you say incorrect, that it's not your palm leaf, he will go to the next palm leaf, right? And then he would, in the next palm leaf, for example, say, oh, your name contains an A-O-I-E-O, for example. If your first name, Nico, contains A-E-O-I-O, they say correct. If you say no, it doesn't, then you will go to the next one. Now, for as long as you say correct to the statements, he stays on that palm leaf and goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the end of a successful matching process, the reader who only knows that you're male, I'm talking to you now, Nico, that you're male, that you're born in, I presume, Germany, and he knows he has your right thumbprint, because you're male, right thumbprint, he then will be able to tell you your first name, your mother's first name, your father's first name, your date of birth, your time of birth, your spouse, if you have a spouse. I know you do. So spouse's first name, kids, if you have any, how many, gender, siblings, if you have any, how many, gender, and other major life events. You can verify. It is literally knocking you off your socks. You're like, holy moly, how can it be that an Indian guy who has barely left a 100-mile radius around his village knows so much about me? You know it's you, period. There is never a doubt, never. So you know full-heartedly, oh my gosh, that's me or not. Okay, so it's that simple. So in my reading, for example, the reader told me that I had a life-threatening disease as a teenager. Correct, I had cancer. It's like, wow, he knows who I am, He told me that I have parents from 2 different continents. True. You know what I mean? So it's you. And then, of course, he, when he pronounced my name or my father's name is Siavash, dum badum 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 Siavash. You're like, holy smokes. I assure you, he's never heard this name in his life before. Never. And he still said it. And now, in the meantime, we've had Norwegian readings with, very difficult, even for me to pronounce, or Brazilian names and this and that, the other. They know it. It's like the Tamil and then the name. You're like, oh my God, it's just amazing. So the matching is like that. It's you. And it's his skill set to convert these Tamil sounds into meaningful letters in English. And once matching is completed, and it's you, then the reading happens, and the reading lasts about an hour and a half. And it starts from the day you get the reading done, as I explained to you before, until you die. So that's a little bit about the Tamil language that's used on these leaves.
So, and what is the let's say normal duration of the whole process? Let's say I start the process today. I send in my thumbprint
Impressions?
and some impression, and then how long?
Well, the search, what we do is we search for 6 months.
Wow.
We do search for 6 months. The average wait time is about a month to 2. There is a bundle. It could be just one day in theory. It could be because, let's say the reader receives the impression, looks at it, and then goes into the first archive, pulls it out, and there it is. So one day. Is it likely? No. But is it possible? Yes. So the average wait time is about a month to 2. And if there is nothing for 6 months, because we do look for a while, because they will first look in the archives around them, then they go further away and further away and further away. That's how the system works to keep it simple. And again, there is no computer system. They cannot just type things into a computer system no, there isn't. They also involve brokers, mind you, physically brokers. They deal with other readers and bring palm leaves, and it's just a huge thing in the southern parts of India. So we do look for 6 months, and if after 6 months there is no bundle, then it means that you don't have a bundle now. So from our institute's point of view, you get your money back, but from a spiritual point of view, don't be upset or sad or down that you don't have a bundle. It just means you don't have a bundle now, because in this system of palm leaf readings, every year you change your energies. So in this year, there is no message for you. But if you start a new search a year later, so a year from the time you started today, let's say you submit your impressions now, Nico, and there is nothing in 6 months. So in a year from today, that will be February 19th, 2020, you can start a new search with new impressions. And it could then be that you have a bundle then, because your energies have changed. This, by the way, as far as I'm not mistaken, this has happened to the big guy himself too, called Mr. or Dr. Deepak Chopra. He had to look twice for his bundles. First time there was no bundles, and then the second time, I think it was a couple years later, they were able to trace down the right bundle and then have a reading. And he wrote about this particular experience in his life in his book that I mentioned before in 2005 called The Book of Secrets. Yeah. So that's the matching. That's the search. And once we find a bundle for you, you get an email from us saying, hey, congratulations, Nico, we were able to find at least one bundle for you. Usually it's 2 or 3. And then you get a link for the payment for the $400, the remaining balance. And then you can book your matching and reading time online. You can do the matching and the reading 7 days a week. Doesn't matter, Monday through Sunday. There is no blockout days for us. But the time of the reading is set purely because the time difference between wherever you are in India. So it's like California time is 10 p.m. California time, New York time is 7 a.m. Central European time is sometimes at 1 p.m. Because we need to make sure that the reader can come to the office. Mind you, because we're talking about reader coming to the office. Readers, many of them don't even have internet at home. You know what I mean? They travel to our office so they can talk to you on Zoom. We're talking a very impoverished part of the world. And so really that's one of our missions, to give back to them. And once you decided your time for the reading, then you need to set aside 4 hours so that you're not rushed. 4 hours, because the matching takes about an hour. And then there is a break between matching and reading because the reader needs to extract some information from it. And then the reading takes about an hour and a half, depending on how many questions you have at the end. You have unlimited time to ask questions. And I always encourage people, write down your questions now before the reading, because when the matching and the reading happens, you'll be so excited, because I remember my own reading, I was very excited. You forget half the questions. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to ask this and the other. But if you write them down now, you have a piece of paper next to you so you can go through the questions at the time of the reading. Because once the reading is over and you say, yes, thank you very much, I've asked all the questions that I wanted to ask, your palm leaf eventually is taken out of the bundle and given back to the universe. So you cannot come back a month later and say, oh, I forgot to ask this question, because the reader will say, sorry, I cannot answer anymore. It's gone, right? That's important for me to tell you, because it happened before that people say, oh, I forgot to ask the question. But good news is we record everything. The Institute records everything, and you get a downloadable link of the reading, so you can listen to it over and over again. And we also take pictures of your palm leaf and send it to you, so you can print out your palm leaf and frame it, which many people do.
Yeah. I assume or sense it has a lot of energy, just the palm leaf itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Which helps also.
Yes, it does.
So interesting, Q. So based on your experience so far over the years, what is the percentage of people who received their palm leaf, or that it was found, and people where there was no palm leaf?
Very high for them to found, because people that come to us, they have a calling. They think there is a message for them. They're either at the crossroads, they need to make a decision. Should I turn left or should I turn right? Or they're overcoming a major issue, a health issue, a relationship issue, whatever that might be. So if this is your motivating factor of getting a reading done, then the chances of having a bundle and then a matching within the bundle, very high. And that's one of the reasons why I talk to every person before they actually sign up, one way or another, to make sure that this person really does it because they need some direction, and they're just not just doing it because they're bored. If you do it because somebody else, quote unquote, forces you to do it, like, husband pays for the wife or wife pays for the husband or so, then we've seen it doesn't work because they're not into it. They don't want any guidance and so then it's very low. Now, I know everyone asked me the same question too. How many bundles are there? And is it the same for every country, every region? How many bundles there are, I do not know, but there are millions. And I've spoken to many, many, many readers over the past, years. They cannot pinpoint how many, but I would say when it comes to individual palm leaves, there's got to be hundreds of millions. There's got to be 100 million at least, or several hundred millions, a lot of individual palm leaves. And then there's like stacked in these bundles, and then these bundles are all over southern India. So there must be millions of bundles lying about. Now, when it comes to the region with high probability to get a reading are Europeans, North Americans, Australia. I think it has to do with the migration of nations and how the past 2,000 years have developed. And the regions and that's when it comes to country of birth. So the Americas are okay, Europe is okay, Russia is okay, Australia, New Zealand, and so forth, that's okay. But when it comes to Africa, the whole continent of Africa probably is very low. Don't ask me why. The probability for Arabia, very low. If you were born in an Arabic country, then I think the chances are 10% or 5%. So it's very low. It's the opposite for Europeans and North Americans and so forth. And of course, Indians and Pakistani, parts of Pakistani, Sri Lankans, that's high, of course. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I will put your link below when I'm publishing the podcast, that people can take a look and see if it resonates with them, so
Fantastic.
they can work together with you. So Q, how did your life change during the whole process? So you do this now for several years, and it became like an organization, and it looks like it's really your life purpose. What's your revelation so far around this work and what you do?
Well, yeah, it changed my life a lot, because obviously you cannot plan this, period. Now we've been able to help many people across the globe. I'm amazed how people find us, how they end up coming to us. I've met amazing human beings through just talking to them about what it is that I do. Made friends with quite many. Interesting, humble, wonderful human beings. And I know that through our institute, we can provide jobs in India so that people can stay in what it is that they'd like to do. We can provide jobs to Western people when it comes to moderation. In every call, we have a Western person as well. We can talk about it and provide help and guideline to people who are a little lost. Now, it impacted me personally, apart from me doing this, of course, is I remember when I had the reading done, I was at a crossroads myself. And so I have this Indian guy who tells me, oh, you will live in Budapest, which is the capital city of Hungary. And it's like, wow. In the back of my mind, I was thinking of it, of moving to Budapest, but of course he had no idea. Of course, how could he? I said, no, you've been living in Budapest, and then you'll be here for many, many years, but then you go back to the US. And when he said that I'll be living in Budapest, it was like, wow. At that moment, I knew I'm going to move to Budapest, because if a stranger who doesn't even know where Budapest is, I assure you, if I showed him a map of the world, he would not even be able to point Europe on it, let alone Hungary, which is a very small country in Europe. So if a person like this tells me I'm going to do that, there's got to be some truth to it. So I moved to Budapest 5 years ago, 6 years ago, quite some time ago. I mean, I'm currently in the US right now, but I moved my domicile to Budapest. Love it. It's a beautiful city. And so it impacted me in a tremendous way. Absolutely. In many, many ways.
Yeah. I call this synchronicity, but if there's a synchronicity in a form that you feel it resonates. Yeah. It's basically that someone else confirms what your idea is, and he doesn't know that.
It's amazing.
Couldn't be any stronger.
I mean, it's mind blowing. And I mean, I know you've been to India, so you know what I'm talking about. But you're sitting in front of this Indian guy who wouldn't even be able to pinpoint Europe on the map. I'm pretty sure. How should he? How could he? Doesn't really matter. But then he talks about a specific country, a specific city, which he has no clue where it is. And I'm like, wow, this is it's powerful. It's like, it was an amazing, amazing experience when he said that. Yes. Yeah. So then and there I knew I'm going to move to Budapest, period. And I did. Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, I mean, is there anything else from your side you want to mention in regards to the work? Or so I will give the link, and then people can see if it resonates with them.
Sure.
I want to do it based on the resonance I received from you now, because you answered a lot of open questions, which I have to admit I had questions when I was looking at the website. I'm not a stranger to it, because my wife had a reading, which was beautiful. But now I just really would like to follow the process now that I really understand it. And I think it's so helpful for the listeners out there to just really have a deeper understanding about what it takes to find a leaf, what it does if you get the information, that it has an impact on your karma, on your life trajectory, your life purpose, and the whole process, so that they know what to expect. And that's fantastic. And I wish.
Thank you. It's. I still moderate quite a lot of talks. Well, not as many as I used to, but I still moderate, meaning I'm the Western person in a call for a person that gets a reading done. And just to see the glow in the face, in the eyes of a person when the matching happens, when the reader who sits in India, who has no clue who this person is, because we usually shut off the video, so the reader doesn't get the facial feedback at all. Basically, the poor reader looks into a dark screen. That's what the reader does. Can you imagine? You doing work with me now, only you don't see me at all. And to maintain the enthusiasm without seeing it all is amazing what they do. So, I mean, we don't do it so the reader won't see it. We do it primarily because internet connection is very weak with India. And we'd rather have a smooth reading and don't use up internet bandwidth by using video, just audio. The reader is live. You can the seeker and the moderator sees the reader and the interpreter, but the reader cannot see us. But I can see the person, and when the matching happens, and you'll see when the people is like, oh my God, they cannot believe that an Indian guy just told them their name, parents' names. Oh, it's beautiful. And then they give them the information, what they need to do, and they find some solution to an issue that they have, or there is a door they can open to then become better humans, or lead a better life, or a healthier life, or a less stressful life. It gives me satisfaction a lot. It really does.
Yeah.
And that's I guess the main reason why we're doing it, to just spread the love. Period. Spread love and make it as simple as possible. So you can see wherever you are. You don't need to go to India. And it's the true authentic experience. Period. We work with it's a humbling experience for me to visit our Indian readers, to see how they live. They breathe it on a daily basis. Amazing. Just Amazing, yeah.
Excellent, Dr. Q. And thank you so much for everything you shared with us, not only the story and how you shared it, but also the energy which we can receive while listening to you. And yeah, I wish you good luck with continuing with the Palm Leaf Reading Institute. And I'm sure the organization will grow and grow because more people are interested in it. And I'm happy to support you as good as I can with this
Thank you.
podcast, just to make it more visible to the world.
It's very kind of you. I feel humble.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and I will reach out to you on a personal level to initiate my process. So thank you for your time today and all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Namaste. 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 Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Podcast for your soul, your compass, your journey, your light.